The stars were quiet when the alien ship entered Earth's orbit. From a distance, the blue planet looked peaceful, almost harmless. Oceans glowed under sunlight. Clouds drifted slowly, and green land stretched wide below. To the alien crew, it did not look like the home of anything dangerous. Yet they had been warned. Reports from other travelers spoke of strange creatures here, some of them more deadly than any found across the galaxy. The leader of the team, a tall and thin alien named Varric, stood by the viewing window. His eyes were narrow and his mind was sharp. He had studied worlds across the stars, from burning deserts to frozen wastelands. He thought he knew danger. But Earth, he was told, was different. Behind him, the other scientists whispered. Their voices were low, filled with worry. They had heard of lions with teeth like knives. They had heard of bears that could crush bones with one strike. They had heard of sharks in the deep waters, waiting with endless hunger. Each story painted Earth as a place where survival was a gamble. Varric raised a hand for silence. We came to study. We will not turn back because of fear. Humans live here. If they can live among these predators, then we must understand how. The ship moved lower, passing through the atmosphere. Fires streaked across the edges of the hull as they descended. Clouds broke apart, and soon they saw the land below. Forests thick and green, rivers silver under the sun, mountains sharp and high. The planet seemed alive in every corner. Waiting for them on the ground was a human guide. The aliens had expected to meet soldiers, perhaps armed protectors, but instead they were greeted by a single man in a simple uniform. He waved as if welcoming old friends. His smile was calm, too calm for a place full of such monsters. "Welcome to Earth," he said when they stepped out of their ship. "I am Dr. Hayes. I will show you what you came to see." The aliens looked around nervously. They expected to hear the roar of beasts, the growl of predators, but all they heard were birds singing in the trees. The air was fresh, soft with the scent of flowers. It did not feel like a deadly world. One of the younger aliens, Shira, leaned close to Varric and whispered, "Where are the predators? Should we not see them already?" Varric frowned but kept his eyes forward. "Do not trust the quiet. Danger hides in silence." Dr. Hayes smiled at their tense movements. "You are thinking of lions, tigers, and bears, yes? They are dangerous. True, but they are not the ones you should worry about." The aliens froze. His words were simple, but they cut through the air like a blade. Not the lions, not the tigers, not the bears. Then what? What creature could be worse than those? Their eyes darted to the trees, to the shadows between branches, to the grass swaying in the wind. Every sound now felt like a threat. A rustle, a chirp, a crack of twigs. Each one made their skin crawl. Shira spoke again, her voice thin. "If not the great hunters, then what is he speaking of?" No one answered. Even Varric, who always carried confidence, felt unease. Dr. Hayes began walking. "Come with me. You will see soon enough." They followed him down a narrow path. The forest opened into a small town. Children laughed in the distance, running with toys in their hands. Women and men walked calmly, speaking to each other without fear. The aliens were confused. How could humans act so relaxed in a place crawling with killers? Varric slowed his steps. He studied every human face, waiting for signs of hidden power. Yet all he saw were smiles and normal lives. It made no sense. Dr. Hayes stopped before a simple house. Its walls were painted white, its windows clear and bright. He opened the door and gestured inside. "Please, the answer is here." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. None wanted to be the first to enter, but finally Varric stepped forward. He would not let fear rule him. The others followed close, their scanners ready. Inside, the house was warm. Pictures hung on the walls, showing humans smiling together. A table stood in the center, covered with books and small objects. It looked ordinary, too ordinary. The aliens waited. No lion, no tiger, no bear, nothing dangerous. But Dr. Hayes only said, "Be patient." The silence stretched. Then they heard it, a faint sound, soft and low, coming from another room. The alien stiffened, every muscle tense. The sound grew closer. Tap, tap, tap. Something was walking toward them. The humans inside the house showed no fear. One child even giggled. But the aliens felt a wave of dread wash over them. Their instincts screamed that whatever was coming was not to be ignored. The door to the next room began to open. Shadows shifted. Small eyes gleamed in the light. The aliens held their breath. And so began their first step into Earth's strangest and most dangerous secret. The door creaked open, and the sound echoed through the quiet house. Every alien eye locked on the shadow behind it. Their scanners beeped softly, trying to read what was coming, but the numbers flickered and changed too fast. Whatever approached did not move like an ordinary animal. Then it appeared. At first glance, the creature was small, far smaller than a lion or bear. Its body was covered in soft fur. Its tail moved like a whip, and its glowing eyes reflected the light with a strange sharpness. Each step was silent, smooth, and full of control. The aliens expected a growl, but instead, the creature made a low rumbling sound, steady and unsettling. The humans smiled. One child clapped her hands. "Mittens!" she called out with joy. The aliens did not move. To them, this was not a pet. This was a predator, and every instinct told them to back away. Varric stared hard, his face pale. "It is small, but it walks like a hunter." Shira gripped her scanner tighter. "No claws showing, no teeth bared, yet I feel danger. Why do the humans not fear it?" The creature stopped in the center of the room. Its eyes shifted from one alien to the next. It studied them, slow and calm, as if measuring their strength. None of them had ever seen such confidence in such a small body. Dr. Hayes chuckled at their stiff poses. "Relax. She is just a cat. Harmless, if you respect her." "Harmless," Varric repeated, his voice low. "Nothing about this is harmless." Mittens flicked her tail, then leapt onto the table with one swift motion. The aliens gasped. Their scanners screamed. Speed, extreme. Reflexes, unmatched. Muscles, perfect for ambush. The numbers rose higher than most trained hunters in the galaxy. Yet the humans did not flinch. The child walked over, picked the creature up, and pressed her face against its fur. The predator purred louder, curling into the child's arms. The aliens froze in disbelief. Shira whispered, "How can a young one hold something so dangerous and not be harmed? What power do humans have that they can tame such a beast?" Dr. Hayes heard her, though his smile never faded. "It is not about power. It is about trust. The cat lives with us, eats with us, and sleeps near us. She is family." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. Family? With a predator? Impossible. Mittens lifted her head and stared directly at Varric. Her golden eyes narrowed, unblinking. For a moment, Varric felt as if he were prey. His chest tightened, his throat dry. This small creature, no taller than his knee, made him feel weaker than any monster on the battlefield. One alien, braver than the rest, stepped forward. His name was Creel, and he wanted proof. "I will touch it," he said, trying to sound strong. Varric tried to stop him, but was too late. Creel stretched out his hand. The cat's ears twitched. In less than a blink, she hissed, her claws flashing out. A sound like tearing fabric filled the air. Creel jumped back, his hand inches away from being shredded. His heart raced, and his breath came quick. But then, just as fast, the cat settled back into calmness. She licked her paw as if nothing had happened. The humans laughed. "She warned you," Dr. Hayes said kindly. "Never touch a cat unless she allows it." That was not an attack. That was mercy. Creel's body shook. "Mercy," he spat. "That thing could have cut me open." "Yes," Dr. Hayes replied simply. But she chose not to. The alien stood in silence, their thoughts heavy. If this was mercy, what would true violence look like? The child stroked Mittens gently, and the predator closed her eyes, purring in deep rhythm. The aliens could not understand. To them, this was death in a small body. To the humans, it was love. Shira spoke at last, her voice filled with awe. If such predators are pets, what are the true hunters of this world? What are the ones humans do not keep in their homes? Dr. Hayes's smile grew thin. "There are many, but you came to learn, yes? This is only the beginning." He turned and walked toward the door, motioning for them to follow. Mittens jumped down and padded after them, her tail high. Outside, the town was still calm. Birds still sang and children still laughed. But to the aliens, everything had changed. Every rustle in the grass, every bark of a dog, every flap of wings now carried hidden meaning. If humans could call a creature like Mittens a pet, then perhaps the whole planet was far more dangerous than they could imagine. As they walked, the aliens whispered among themselves, "This makes no sense." The humans live side by side with killers, and they smile while doing it. Do they not fear death? Varric listened, but he did not answer. His own heart was heavy with questions. He had studied predators all his life, yet never had he seen one so at ease with prey, or so loved by prey. The humans had broken rules that shaped the galaxy. They had turned danger into companionship. They reached a park where more families gathered. Dogs ran across the grass, barking happily. Birds swooped low, searching for crumbs. A boy chased a squirrel up a tree. To the aliens, it was chaos. Predators and prey in the same place, without fear, without bloodshed. Dr. Hayes spread his arms. "Look around. This is Earth. Life here is full of teeth and claws, yet we live with it, not against it." Varric stared at a dog racing past. His scanner read numbers almost as dangerous as the cat's. Muscles built for running, jaws strong enough to snap bone. Yet the humans threw a ball, and the dog returned it with joy. No attack, no hunger, only play. The aliens could not process it. Predators were not supposed to play. Predators were not supposed to be pets. Shira whispered again, "If these are their pets, then what are humans themselves?" Varric had no answer. Dr. Hayes looked at them with knowing eyes. "You see now, humans do not simply survive predators. We make them part of our lives. That is why you must never mistake us for weak." The words hit hard. The aliens had come expecting to study lions, bears, or sharks. Instead, they found something worse. Something small, quiet, and infinitely more terrifying. Not because of the creature itself, but because of what it revealed about humanity. If humans could tame predators, what else could they do? The thought sank deep into every alien mind as Mittens wound around the child's legs, her sharp eyes never leaving the visitors. For the first time, Varric felt the truth. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and it was already too late to turn back. The aliens had seen much across the stars. Giant beasts with tusks like spears, winged hunters that could shred ships in flight, and oceans full of creatures that glowed with hunger in the dark. But never had they seen something like this. A creature so small, so quiet, and yet so full of silent power. Mittens, the house cat, walked ahead of them as if she were the one leading the mission. Her paws touched the ground without sound. Her tail moved in slow, careful sways. Her golden eyes stayed sharp, scanning everything. To the aliens, every step looked like a calculation. Every move spoke of control. Varric kept watching her, unable to look away. His sharp mind whispered, "This is no pet. This is a predator wearing a mask." Dr. Hayes, the human guide, noticed their nervous stares. "She is curious about you," he said simply. "Cats are hunters by nature. They never stop watching." Shira clutched her scanner tighter. Its screen filled with numbers that made her hands shake. Speed, extreme. Reflexes, unmatched. Silent movement, near perfect. She is built to kill. Her voice trembled as she added, "And yet she lives in their homes?" The child carried Mittens again, pressing her face against the soft fur. The predator purred like a small machine, vibrating with strange rhythm. To the aliens, it was the sound of hidden danger. To the humans, it was the sound of peace. Creel, still shaken from his failed attempt to touch the cat, muttered, "This world bends nature itself. Predators do not show mercy. They do not play. And yet this one, pretend to be gentle." Varric corrected him quietly. "Not pretend. Adapt. That is worse." The cat stretched, yawned, and revealed her sharp teeth, tiny compared to a lion's, but sharp enough to pierce flesh. The aliens flinched at the sight. The humans only laughed. "She's just bored," the child said happily. To the aliens, boredom in such a creature was more terrifying than anger. If this was what she did when calm, what would she do when hungry? Dr. Hayes led them back outside. The sun was brighter now, and the town seemed alive. Dogs barked, children shouted, birds swooped down for crumbs. Yet the alien's eyes followed only one thing, the cat. She moved like liquid shadow, slipping between legs, climbing a fence in one leap, then perching high to watch them. From above, her golden eyes locked onto their group. "She hunts us," whispered Shira. "No," Varric said grimly. "She studies us." The idea chilled them more than teeth or claws. Predators hunted for food, but this one it seemed to hunt for knowledge. As they continued walking, Mittens followed silently, never far behind. Sometimes she vanished into bushes, only to appear ahead, waiting. Sometimes she brushed against the humans, her tail flicking like a whip, always watching, always testing. The aliens began to realize the truth. On this world, predators did not hide from humans. They lived with them. They walked beside them. They played with their children. Shira could no longer hold her fear. If this is a pet, then what are the wild ones? What are the lions, the bears, the wolves? Dr. Hayes glanced at her. His smile was calm, but his eyes were serious. "Yes, they exist too. Strong, fast, deadly. But you must understand, humans are not weak because of predators. We are strong because we live with them." Varric frowned. "You do not conquer them?" Dr. Hayes shook his head. "Not always. Sometimes we fight, but sometimes we bring them close. We tame them, we learn from them, and we keep them by our side." The aliens fell into silence. The idea was too strange. In their worlds, predators were avoided, trapped, or killed, never embraced, never welcomed into homes. Mittens leapt down from the fence and walked between them. The aliens froze, their bodies stiff, their hearts racing. The cat brushed against Varric's leg, her claws lightly grazing the fabric of his uniform. His chest tightened. One swipe, one bite, and he would fall. But then she moved on, as if sparing him. The child picked her up again, kissing her head. The predator closed her eyes and purred. The sound rumbled like hidden thunder. Shira whispered, "How do they control it?" Varric's voice was low, steady. "They do not control it. That is the lesson. The humans live beside predators, not above them. And that makes them something greater. The group walked further, reaching the edge of town. There, beyond the last houses, stretched a wide field. Tall grass moved in the wind. The humans walked without fear. The aliens, however, felt trapped. Each blade of grass could hide danger. Each shadow could hold another predator. Mittens leapt from the child's arms and disappeared into the grass. Silence fell. The aliens' hearts pounded. Scanners beeped, searching, but the numbers flickered and vanished. The predator was gone. Where did it go? Creel hissed, his eyes wide. The child only laughed. She's hunting. Hunting what? Shira asked, her voice sharp with fear. Dr. Hayes answered calmly. Anything smaller. A bird. A mouse. Maybe nothing at all. Sometimes cats hunt for the thrill, not for food. The alien stared at him in horror. For the thrill? Hayes nodded. Yes, for the game, for the practice. The idea struck like lightning. Predators in their worlds kill for need, for survival. But here on Earth, predators kill for skill, for sport, for play. It was worse than they had ever imagined. Suddenly, the grass shook. A small bird flew upward, wings beating fast. Mittens leapt from below, her body twisting in midair, her claws flashing in the sun. In one clean motion, she struck the bird down. The aliens cried out, shocked by her speed. It was faster than any hunter they had ever recorded. 1 second she was gone. The next she was death in motion. The cat landed softly, bird in her mouth. Her eyes shone with victory. She walked back proudly, laying her catch at the child's feet. The child clapped, praising her. Good girl, Mittens. The aliens were speechless. To them, this was not play. It was training. It was war. Varick's voice was heavy, almost whisper. Do you see? She does not hunt for survival. She hunts to perfect her skill. And the humans encourage it. They cheer for it. Shira's face grew pale. They are raising predators not as enemies, but as partners. Dr. Hayes bent down, patted the cat, and smiled. She shares her kill with us. That is trust. The aliens could not understand. To share death as a gift was beyond their culture. Yet here it was normal. As the cat purred and rubbed against the humans, the aliens realized a deeper truth. If humans could tame such predators, feed them, raise them, and even love them, then humans themselves were something more dangerous than predators. The aliens thought they had seen enough. The small predator called a cat had already shown more danger than many beasts across the stars. It moved like shadow, struck like lightning, and carried the calm pride of a master hunter. But Earth was not finished teaching them. After the hunt in the grass, Dr. Hayes led the group to a quiet building near the edge of town. Its walls were simple, its door wooden, yet the humans walked inside with ease. The aliens followed, still shaken. Inside, the air was warm. Shelves lined the walls, filled with strange boxes and bottles. A bell rang softly as the door closed. The humans called this place a shop. At first, nothing seemed dangerous. But then they heard it, a low growl. It came from a corner cage. The aliens froze. Their scanners blinked red with warnings. Behind the bars, another predator waited. Larger than Mittens, heavier, its teeth longer, its eyes wild. Its body was coiled with muscle. This was no playful house cat. This was something untamed. The human shopkeeper smiled as if nothing was wrong. Don't worry. She's just nervous, not used to strangers. The predator hissed, its tail lashing against the bars. The sound rattled in the aliens' chests. Shiro whispered, Why do they keep such danger here, in the middle of their homes? Hayes answered calmly, She is new. Humans rescue animals like this. We care for them, even when they are fierce. The aliens were stunned. Rescue a predator? Keep it close? Madness. Varric stepped forward, his voice firm. You are telling us that humans do not only tame predators, they save them, even when they threaten you? The shopkeeper nodded. Yes, because we know they can live with us, if given time. The aliens' bodies tensed. It went against every law of survival they knew. The cage predator growled again, louder, its golden eyes fixed on them, and in that gaze they felt the truth. If the bars were gone, none of them would leave alive. Creel whispered, if this is how humans treat predators, then their courage is greater than we imagined, or their madness. But before Varric could reply, the shopkeeper opened the cage. The aliens gasped, stepping back in panic. Are you insane? Creel cried out. The predator stepped forward, muscles tense, ears flat. It scanned the room the same way Mittens had. Slow, careful, deadly. Hayes raised a hand. Calm. Watch closely. The shopkeeper knelt down, speaking soft words to the predator. Slowly, she offered her hand. The beast sniffed it, growled low, but did not strike. A moment later, it stepped closer, brushing against her leg. The alien stared in silence. Shira whispered, it chooses not to kill her. But why? Hayes answered, because trust is stronger than fear. The word struck the aliens harder than claws. They came from worlds where fear ruled. Predators killed, prey ran. Yet here, humans built something else, something that changed the rules. Varric's eyes narrowed. This is not natural. Hayes turned to him. No, it is human. The predator sat at the shopkeeper's feet, tail curling slowly. The aliens could hardly breathe. One wrong move, one loud sound, and they would be shredded. Hayes looked at them calmly. Do you wish to try? The question hung heavy in the air. None wanted to step forward. None wanted to test death. But the humans watched, waiting. To refuse would mean admitting fear. To accept meant risking their lives. Finally, Varric moved. His voice was steady, though his hands trembled. I will. The other aliens whispered in shock. Shira tried to stop him, but he stepped ahead. Slowly, he knelt, lowering himself to the predator's eye level. The beast growled, baring teeth. Varric's chest tightened. His instinct screamed, run. But he did not move. Instead, he held out his hand. The predator sniffed it, eyes sharp, body tense. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then its head lowered. It brushed its nose against his palm. The room fell silent. Shira gasped. Creel whispered. It accepted him. Varric's breath came slow and heavy. He had touched death and lived. He rose, his face pale, his mind racing. Hayes nodded. You see? Fear is natural, but humans go beyond fear. That is why we survive on this world. The aliens were shaken to their core. Their whole lives, they had avoided predators, built walls, and fled from teeth. Humans, instead, walked toward danger, looked in the eye, and reached out a hand. This was the test of fear. And the humans had passed it long ago. The group left the shop in silence, their hearts heavy with thought. Outside, Mittens sat waiting on the fence, her golden eyes glowing in the sun. She leapt down and patted to the child, rubbing her head against the girl's leg. To the aliens, it was no longer a simple gesture. It was proof. Proof that humans lived where others could not. Proof that humans bent predators to their world, not through chains, not through force, but through trust. Shira whispered, they do not tame predators. They change them. Varric looked at her, then at Hayes, then at the child with the cat. His voice was low. No, they change themselves. That is their strength. As the sun lowered in the sky, the aliens felt something new rise in their hearts. Not just fear, not just confusion, but respect. For the first time, they began to understand why other travelers had warned them. It was not the lions, the tigers, or the bears that made Earth dangerous. It was the humans. Because if a creature like Mittens was only a pet, then the true power of humanity was beyond imagination, and the galaxy would never be the same once it learned that truth. The aliens followed Dr. Hayes back to the edge of the town. Their minds were still reeling from what they had seen. A small predator, sharp and deadly, had passed judgment on them and spared their lives. Another had tested them, and again they survived only because of human trust. The sunlight fell golden across the fields, but it brought no comfort to the aliens. Every rustle in the grass seemed louder. Every shadow moved in ways that could hide hidden hunters. Even Mittens, walking calmly beside the child, radiated the quiet danger that had unsettled them since the day they arrived. Dr. Hayes led them to a small house, set apart from the others. Its walls were white, simple, and unassuming, but the humans treated it as sacred. Inside, the warmth and smell of cooking filled the air. A few other humans moved around calmly, tending to chores, feeding animals, and speaking softly to each other. The alien scanners beeped endlessly. Every living creature in the house, cats, dogs, even birds, registered as high-level predators. Yet humans touched them, spoke to them, and smiled. Varric's voice was low. It is impossible. This world should be a war of teeth and claws. Yet here they live in peace. Hayes chuckled lightly. Peace? Perhaps. Or maybe they just see it differently. The aliens followed as he motioned for them to sit. The humans gathered around a table, setting down small plates of food. Mittens leapt onto the table without hesitation, brushing against the dishes, as if she were a guest, not a threat. Shira whispered to Varric, "How can they live like this? They surround themselves with predators, yet no one is harmed." Varric shook his head slowly. Because they are not prey. They are not afraid. And that is the lesson we are missing. Hayes noticed their unease and spoke gently. You came to study predators, yes? To understand danger. But what you see here is not just about animals. It is about humans. The alien's eyes narrowed. Explain, Creel demanded. Look at Mittens, Hayes said. The small cat purred and nudged the child's hand. She is a predator, yes, but she lives beside humans. She hunts, she plays, she kills sometimes, but always within limits. And she obeys because she respects the humans who care for her. Varric frowned. Obeys? She does not obey. She chooses not to attack. That is different. Hayes nodded. Exactly. And the humans do not force her. They earn that choice. They teach predators through patience, through calm, through understanding. That is how humans survive on this planet. The aliens stared in disbelief. They had spent centuries studying predators across multiple worlds, always relying on force, speed, and dominance. Yet here, humans did the opposite. Shira whispered, "It is done natural." "Perhaps," Hayes said, "but it works." Suddenly, Mittens leapt down and padded toward the door. The aliens followed as Hayes led them outside again. The child ran ahead, carrying her tiny pet. Mittens paused at the edge of the grass, ears twitching. Varric noticed something strange. The predator's body language had changed. She was alert, tense, and ready, but not threatening. The humans moved through the open field, without fear. Birds flew overhead. Small animals scurried past. Mittens watched, calculated, yet never attacked. Creel's voice trembled. If she does not attack, does that mean she is controlled? Or do they understand something we do not? Hayes smiled. They understand themselves. The aliens did not comprehend. What do you mean? Shira asked. Hayes gestured to the field, to the humans, to the predators moving freely among them. Humans have a different kind of strength. They live with predators. In doing so, they learn fear and control it. They do not hide from danger. They accept it. That is the hidden lesson. Varric felt a chill. His instincts screamed that every predator on this planet could kill him in a heartbeat. Yet none did. Not because of chains or weapons. Because humans had taught them to live together. The aliens watched as Mittens leapt onto a fence, then onto a nearby tree. She crouched, tail flicking, eyes fixed on a small bird hopping below. With lightning speed, she struck, but just grazed the ground, missing the prey entirely. The child laughed and clapped, praising her. The alien stared, horrified. Even in a controlled strike, this small creature was a deadly hunter, and humans treated it as normal. Shira whispered, "If such creatures are considered pets, then humans must be far stronger than we imagined." Hayes nodded slowly. "Yes, humans survive not because they dominate predators, but because they live beside them. They respect danger, study it, and use it to grow stronger themselves. That is a lesson the galaxy has not learned." Varric's mind raced. Across countless worlds, predators ruled by fear. Prey survived by hiding or fleeing. Humans did neither. They embraced the danger, turned it into partnership, and emerged stronger. Creel shivered. "It is terrifying. They live among death, and yet they are untouched." "Not untouched," Hayes said softly. "Changed. Humans do not avoid danger. They transform it." The aliens began to see it. Every predator tamed, every creature rescued, every moment of calm in a deadly world. These were not signs of weakness. They were signs of mastery. Mittens jumped down from the tree and padded back to the child. The child hugged her, whispering words the aliens could not understand. The predator purred, tail wrapping around the child's wrist. Varric looked at Hayes. "And this is just one example. If this is normal, then the humans you speak of are unimaginable." Hayes smiled faintly. "Yes, this is just one example. The galaxy underestimates humans because it measures strength by teeth, claws, or weapons. But humans measure strength by patience, trust, and the ability to survive in worlds full of predators. That is their hidden power." Shira's hand shook. "So, everything we feared, the great hunters, the wild beasts, even the small cat, they are tools humans can use?" Hayes nodded. "Not tools. Partners. Allies. Humans understand danger in a way few species ever will. They respect it, they learn from it, and they use it to shape their world." The aliens fell silent. Each step they had taken through Earth had revealed more than creatures or predators. It had revealed humans themselves, a species that thrive where others fear to tread. Varric's eyes hardened. If this is true, then the galaxy is blind. No one can imagine what humans are capable of. Hayes led them back toward the town. Mittens ran ahead, her small body moving like shadow across the field. The aliens followed, their thoughts heavy with realization. The sun dipped lower in the sky. Shadows stretched across the grass. Birds flew home. Small predators vanished into bushes, and the humans walked calmly among them. To the aliens, it was both terrifying and humbling. Finally, Hayes spoke again. "Remember this. Predators alone do not make a world dangerous. Humans do not conquer predators. They live with them. That is the lesson few outsiders ever learn. And it is why Earth is not just another world. It is a place the galaxy should fear." Varric looked at the horizon, the child, and Mittens curled in her arms. The weight of understanding pressed on him like a stone. Humans were not just survivors. They were masters of life and death, subtle, patient, and infinitely more dangerous than they appeared. Shira whispered, "So everything we feared is small compared to them?" Varric nodded slowly, his voice almost reverent. "Yes, the predators were never the danger. The humans are." The aliens remained quiet as the sun sank below the hills. They had come to study animals. Instead, they had learned a lesson about an entire species, one that would change their understanding of life, danger, and power forever. And Mittens, the small predator, purred softly in the child's arms, unaware of the fear and awe she had inspired in beings from another world. The aliens left the town behind, walking through the open fields as the sun dipped toward the horizon. Their minds were heavy with what they had seen. Mittens, the small predator, padded along beside the child, calm, alert, and deadly in ways that no predator from their worlds had ever been. Varric walked in silence, his long legs carrying him steadily, yet his mind raced. Each step through the fields seemed to echo with warning. The peaceful chirping of birds, the rustle of grass, even the hum of insects, all felt like camouflage for predators hiding just out of sight. And yet, The humans moved freely. They had no fear. Shira's voice broke the silence, trembling. I cannot stop thinking about it. They live among predators like mittens, and even bigger ones. They handle them gently, and yet if we misstep, we could be killed instantly. Creel, still pale from his earlier encounter, added quietly, "It is not just fear, it is awe. I feel like I have never truly understood danger until now." Varric did not answer. He could feel the weight of the hidden truth pressing on his chest. Humans were not afraid of predators because they had learned something the aliens had not. They could transform danger into strength. Mitten suddenly stopped. Her small body tensed. She crouched low, ears flicking, tail stiff. The child giggled, thinking it a game, but the aliens watched with wide eyes. Even small, this predator could strike with lethal precision in a heartbeat. Varric whispered, "Do you see? Every movement, every pause. It is a calculation, not instinct, not hunger. Calculation." Shira swallowed hard. If humans can live with this and call harmless, then what else can they do? The aliens followed as Dr. Hayes led them to the edge of a forest. The trees stood tall and dark, casting long shadows in the fading light. The wind rustled through the leaves, carrying the faint sound of animals moving in the underbrush. This is where most outsiders fail to understand us. Hayes said, "Humans do not fear danger like others. We study it, we learn from it, and we use it to grow stronger." Varric's sharp mind analyzed every detail. He had visited countless worlds where life was harsh, where predators rule without mercy. But here, humans had learned to live with every predator, from the smallest cat to the largest beast, and that, he realized, made them far more dangerous than any creature with claws or fangs. Shira's voice trembled as she asked, "So all this time, the predators were never the real threat?" Hayes nodded. "Correct. The real threat is humans themselves. They are predators in another sense, not always with claws, but with strategy, patience, and adaptability. That is what makes Earth unique." The forest seemed darker as they entered. Shadows stretched long and twisted. Small animals darted between trees. The wind carried sounds of distant creatures, snapping twigs, rustling leaves, faint growls. The alien scanners beeped constantly, warning them of danger everywhere. Mittens padded ahead, tail flicking. She paused, crouched low, and studied something in the shadows. The child followed, unaware of the tension in the air. Varric whispered, "She is not hunting for food. She is testing us, testing the humans, observing how they respond." Shira's eyes widened. If this is a test, then we are already failing. We do not understand the rules of this world. Hayes glanced back at the group. Humans do not need to understand all the rules. We survive because we respect the rules that matter. We do not fear danger. We embrace it. That is the difference. The aliens moved cautiously, every sense alert. The forest seemed alive with unseen eyes. Every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig made their hearts pound. Yet the humans moved calmly, trusting the predators around them to act, and they did. Creel's voice was low and fearful. "I cannot believe it. They walk among these creatures as if they are friends. They are fearless, but it is more than courage. It is control, discipline, intelligence beyond anything I have seen." Varric nodded slowly. "Yes, and we must remember this. Humans are not prey. They are something else. Something the galaxy has underestimated." The group reached a clearing where the sun had nearly vanished. Shadows stretched across the ground, blending with the darkness of the forest. A large predator, far bigger than Mittens, emerged from the trees. Its eyes glowed faintly in the twilight. The aliens froze. Their scanners screamed warnings. This beast was a killing machine. Muscles rippled under thick fur. Claws dug into the dirt. Every step it took shook the ground slightly. Yet the humans did not flinch. The child hugged Mittens, the small predator brushing against the larger one. Dr. Hayes stepped forward calmly. The large predator growled low, warning, testing. Its eyes moved from human to human, then to Mittens. But instead of attacking, it bowed its head slightly and moved past, as if acknowledging authority it understood but could not challenge. Varric's mind reeled. It obeys not out of fear but respect. Shira whispered, "So even the wildest predators follow humans sometimes." "Yes," Hay said softly. "Humans do not force obedience. They earn it, and predators respond when humans show strength and understanding, not in violence." The aliens looked at one another. Their fear had changed. It was no longer simple terror of predators. It was all mixed with horror. Humans live surrounded by death, yet they commanded respect without striking. Varric spoke at last, his voice steady. "I see now. The predators were never the greatest danger. Humans are." The forest seemed quieter as they moved again. Every rustle and snap now held a new meaning. Every predator, small or large, was a potential weapon or a potential ally. And humans, they realized, could walk among them all. Shira whispered, "If humans can live here and master these creatures, what happens when they face other humans? Or other worlds?" Varric's eyes darkened. "Then no one stands a chance. We have seen only a fraction of what humans can do. If their predators are this controlled, then their strength is beyond comprehension." Mittens leapt onto a low branch, her eyes scanning the clearing. The child giggled and followed her. The aliens could not stop staring, realizing the small cat had already taught them more about humans than any scanner or weapon could reveal. Creel finally broke the silence. "They are not just strong. They are unpredictable. We cannot measure them by our standards. We cannot fight them with our rules. They exist in a category we never expected." Varric nodded slowly. "Yes, that is the truth. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Their predators, their pets, their companions, all are instruments of their will. And we are witnesses to it now." The forest gave way to open fields once more. The sun had fully disappeared, leaving twilight shadows that made every predator appear sharper, larger, deadlier. Yet the humans moved as if nothing had changed. Their calm, steady presence filled the aliens with a mix of terror and respect. Hayes looked at them with calm eyes. "This is the hidden strength of humans. We do not conquer predators by fear or force. We live with them. We learn from them. And in doing so, we become stronger than any beast." Varric felt the truth settle deep in his bones. The aliens had come to study Earth's predators, expecting to see fearsome hunters and deadly prey. Instead, they had discovered a species that had tamed life itself, bending danger into mastery. Shira whispered, "I understand now. The predators were only the beginning. Humans are the real lesson." Varric's voice was quiet but firm. "Yes, and it is a lesson the galaxy must not forget. If human small pets are this lethal, then what they can do with weapons, with strategy, with armies we cannot imagine." The child called for Mittens, and the cat leapt gracefully into her arms. The aliens watched in silence. Every movement, every gesture spoke of hidden power, patience, and mastery. As night fell, the aliens finally realized the truth. Earth was not a world to underestimate. Its predators were deadly, yes, but the humans who lived among them were far deadlier. And that realization filled them with fear unlike any they had ever known. Night had fallen across the fields and forests of Earth. The stars shone above, cold and distant. Yet below them, life on the planet thrummed with quiet intensity. The aliens, Varric, Shira, Creel, and the others walked behind Dr. Hayes and the child carrying Mittens. Every step was measured, every sound amplified in their senses. The forest was alive with shadows and subtle movements. Varric's sharp eyes scanned the darkness, but he no longer felt the same fear he had upon arrival. That fear had transformed into something heavier, respect, awe, and the creeping understanding of a danger unlike any other. "They have walked us through their world," Shira whispered. "They have shown us predators, pets, even death itself. And still they are untouched. How can a species survive like this?" Creel shivered, glancing at Mittens. "I thought the cats were terrifying, but it is not them. It is the humans. They command predators without force. They live with death as if it is a friend. That is impossible. Varric did not answer. His mind was focused on one thought. Humans are predators of a different kind. They do not rely on claws, teeth, or speed. They rely on control, understanding, and fearlessness. They transform danger into strength, and that made them far deadlier than anything else the galaxy had encountered. Dr. Hayes stopped at the edge of a small hill overlooking the town. Lights flickered softly in homes below, illuminating quiet streets where humans walked among pets, predators, and children without a hint of fear. "Look," Hayes said, pointing. "This is life on Earth. Predators walk beside humans. Death is present in every shadow, every step. Yet the humans thrive. Why do you think that is?" Varric's voice was steady, though his thoughts raced. "Because they respect danger and they understand it." "Yes," Hayes said, "but more than that, they embrace it. They do not hide. They do not flee. They learn from it, live with it, and use it to grow stronger. That is the final lesson many outsiders never see, and it is what makes humans dangerous." Shira's hands trembled. "Dangerous, yes. But how? They are not predators like mittens or the wolves or bears. Yet you speak as if they are far worse." Hayes smiled faintly. "Strength is not measured by teeth alone. A human with courage, patience, and understanding can outmatch a predator many times their size. And if the predator is tamed, trained, or trusted, that power multiplies. You have seen only a small part of it today." Varric nodded, his jaw tight. "We underestimated them. The galaxy does not understand what humans are capable of." A rustle in the grass made all the aliens tense. From the shadows, a pack of predators emerged. Not small like mittens, but wolves, large and fast, moving silently through the field. Their eyes glowed in the night, their teeth sharp, their bodies built to kill. The aliens froze. Every instinct screamed danger. Every muscle was ready to flee. Yet the humans walked calmly among them. Hayes raised a hand, and the predators halted. Varric's mind screamed, "Impossible. They obey without chains, without fear. Why?" The child laughed and ran forward, carrying mittens. The small cat darted past the wolves, weaving gracefully through their legs. The pack followed, not in attack, but in quiet respect, keeping distance yet never leaving her side. Shira's voice was barely audible. "Even wild predators, they obey humans?" Hayes nodded, not out of submission, out of understanding. "Humans communicate in ways your scanners cannot read. We speak through presence, confidence, and trust. A predator knows the strength of the one who approaches it. That is why we survive here, and why Earth is unlike any other world." Varric swallowed hard. He had seen countless predators, studied countless species, and faced many hunters across galaxies. But nothing had prepared him for this. Humans could walk among death and survive, not by chance, but by choice. The wind shifted. The predators padded silently into the darkness, but their attention never left the humans. The alien scanner screamed with impossible readings. Strength, reflexes, coordination, and alertness far beyond any normal threshold. Creel whispered, "We came to study predators, and yet the predators themselves are no longer the danger. Humans are." Hayes glanced at him. "Exactly. If the galaxy measures life by teeth and claws, it has already misjudged humans. They are predators in another way. They survive where others fall. They thrive where others fear. And they adapt faster than any species you've seen." Varric's thoughts returned to mittens. The small predator had been the first warning, playful yet deadly, testing them, sparing them, teaching them a lesson they had only just begun to understand. Then the larger predator, obeying the humans without fear, had driven the truth home. Shira finally spoke, voice trembling. "If humans can live with all of this, if they can command predators without weapons, then what happens when they face other humans or other worlds?" Varric's jaw tightened. "Then the galaxy is already lost before the battle begins. They are unstoppable." Hayes nodded slowly. "That is why you must remember what you have seen. Humans do not need to conquer everything through violence. They conquer by surviving, by learning, by bending the rules of nature itself. That is their hidden weapon." A distant howl echoed across the fields. The pack of predators responded, a chorus of movement and sound, yet they kept a careful distance from the humans. It was a warning and a tribute, all at once. The aliens looked at one another, their fear deepening. Not fear of death, but fear of understanding. They had come to study a planet's predators. Instead, they had learned the true nature of its people, and that knowledge carried weight far heavier than any weapon. Mittens leapt from the child's arms onto Varric's shoulder for a brief moment, testing, observing. Her golden eyes locked on his, and he felt it, not hostility, but power. A predator's power magnified by human mastery. Varric lowered his head, whispering, "The predators were never the lesson. Humans are." Shira shivered. "We have witnessed only a small portion. The humans could be anywhere, controlling life and death in ways we cannot even imagine." Creel looked at the horizon, eyes wide, and yet they smile. They laugh. They live. They thrive among death itself. Hayes turned to the aliens, his expression calm yet full of warning. "You have seen Earth tonight. You have seen our predators, our homes, our control. Remember this when you return to your worlds. Humans are not to be underestimated. The galaxy will misjudge us, and that mistake could cost them everything." Varric nodded, understanding the gravity. He had faced death countless times, but he had never felt the weight of possibility like this. Humans did not merely survive predators. They commanded them. They transformed danger into advantage. They thrived where others would fall. The child called for Mittens, and the cat returned, leaping gracefully into her arms. The predators in the shadows watched, silent and obedient. The aliens understood now. This was a species of the galaxy had overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed. But Earth's people were not weak. They were masters of life, death, and the predators that surrounded them. Varric spoke finally, his voice low but firm. "The galaxy must see what we have seen. Humans are not prey. They are the ultimate predators. And anyone who underestimates them will regret it." Shiro whispered, "We came to study the predators, and left learning about the humans themselves. That is far more dangerous." Hayes smiled faintly. "Good. You understand. Remember the lesson. Humans survive not because they dominate predators, but because they live with them, learn from them, and transform danger into strength. That is Earth. That is why it is feared, even if few know the reason." The aliens looked at the town below, the predators watching silently, and the humans walking freely among them. The realization sank deep. Humanity was a species unlike any other, not because of weapons or armies, but because of something older, sharper, and more powerful, mastery of life itself. Mittens purred softly in the child's arms. The aliens knew that in her small body they had seen only a glimpse of the true danger. Humans. And that danger would change the galaxy forever.